What's going on, everyone? Welcome, Brian, Anthony. How are we doing today?
Doing well. How
Not too
about
bad.
yourself?
So we had a couple days to think about our team. What are we thinking now?
Yeah, I'll get us started. I think after a lot of self-reflection and deep thought, I think what makes the most sense is to start with 5 or 6 wide receivers, just regardless of what's there at running back. Having to basically start 4 receivers in the draft every week, assuming that flex is also going to be a receiver. I think the value that we can get at running back that we saw in our last stream that we did tells me that we can push it to like round 7 or 8 if we need to make before we go 0 RB.
Yeah, I mean, I like what we did last time. Again, I agree there. I think, lessons learned from the first draft, obviously for me and Brian, it was our first best ball draft that we've ever done, each of us. So, some lessons learned, but I think, again, heavy at receiver seems to be the direction that we need to go in. And, I think definitely excited to get this one started and hopefully, improve upon last time.
Do you guys still feel the same way about like elite tight end? Like, kind of think Trey McBride was the right pick?
I don't know. I mean, it's tough. I mean, I listen. On one hand, I love McBride for this season, and part of me, it's tough because you're in that redraft mindset of like, okay, McBride, I think he's gonna have a big year. I really like him with Kyler this year coming back healthy. But again, at what we know about best ball, again, doing it from the first time the other night, I think we took McBride in the 4th round, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I mean, to me, I feel like that could have been a little early with what was left on the board at tight end. But I mean, I like him as a player, but again, it's just tough. You're coming from that redraft mindset. So I feel like I'm definitely going to have to kind of adjust my thinking for version 2 tonight.
Yeah, the general rule that it's kind of like if you don't do this, your team is just fucking dead. You kind of need 4 receivers through 7 rounds. That's like generally in the past 4 years, that's what it's been. So it's kind of like if we take like Pacheco and McBride back to back, like we're pretty behind at receiver. We still got, we didn't get to 7 through 4. We had 3 through 4 because we picked Joe Mixon and Kyler.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's going to be one of the biggest things to change for next time.
Yeah, we're excited. I think.
Go ahead.
I think to just piggyback off of what Anthony said with the tight end build, I think 2 tight ends is probably right, depending on what's there. Maybe one in like round 9 or so, depending on what's available. Someone like Njoku or Jake Ferguson could be good value at that point, and just pick someone like Noah Fant or something as like a round 14 or 15 pick.
Yeah, I've been hammering Theo Johnson at the end of drafts. I've been hammering Jawan Johnson now that he's practicing. Those have been like the 2, and then like Benson out a little bit. So a couple of late round people that I've been drafting a lot of, Jalen Naylor a lot. What do you guys think about him? We touched on him last time a little bit.
Here's the thing. When you look at the Vikings offense, right? So, I mean, Jefferson's easily going to, dominate target share, right? I mean, clear cut number 1, especially with Addison and his situation right now. So, I think Naylor's got a good opportunity kind of, looking at it, holistically, he's got a good opportunity. But having said that, it's Sam Darnold, if he's the number 2, number 3 option in the passing game, eventually we don't know, when Hawkinson is going to be back at tight end, but, he's going to miss a little bit of time. But when he gets back in there, Naylor's going to have an opportunity just with the situation with Addison. But, again, Sam Darnold with Jefferson there dominating target share. I don't know. I mean, I like him to some extent, but he's not somebody that I would certainly want to reach on.
I think here's my argument for him. Like if Addison gets suspended, and since Hawkinson's probably going to miss the beginning of the season, like we'll definitely get at least a few usable weeks for him at the beginning of the season. And like if he carves out a role, like he is better than people think, then he will be valuable late in the season. And like just in case Addison does get suspended or drunk drives again, he'll be looking good. Another one, Tim Patrick. We talked about him last week, so we can skip that. And then De'Ami Brown. So since Jahan Dotson's traded, do we think that the Commanders have some confidence in De'Ami Brown or Luke McCaffrey?
I mean, I do think that Jaden Daniels has shown the ability to air it out. He did that well in college, especially last year with Neighbors and Brian Thomas. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to use De'Ami Brown in a similar fashion this year. So I don't know. He's probably worth a late round flyer, probably like round 17, 18. I know there's no round 19 now. Learned that after last year, or last stream. So round 17, 18 sounds right if you want to take a dart throw. I don't even know if you necessarily need to correlate it with that, but we'll see. We'll see how the Dotson trade affects these wide receiver 2 and 3s in Washington.
All right, let's hop in a draft. Just want to fill. They've been filling so fast.
Really? Do you have a preferred spot where you want to pick?
Honestly, I don't really like. This is gonna sound stupid. I know most people disagree. I don't like the first overall pick. I'd rather have CD, and I feel stupid taking CD over McCaffrey, so I just take McCaffrey. But
agreed.
I don't know.
Yeah, I like that 4 to 6 range. It feels like you get somebody in the top 6 or 7 tier that I like, but you also get a decent player back in the second round.
Yeah.
Anthony, what do you think?
I agree. I mean, one of the things that I hate, here's the thing about having the first pick. It's a blessing and a curse, right? I mean, it's great. You get your pick of the litter, anyone you want, McCaffrey, Lamb, whoever you're looking at, you get the pick of the litter. But then you're waiting 22, 23 picks, whatever it is, until you get your next pick. So you're waiting around a while. And not only that, but if the top pick, your number one pick gets hurt, he's a bust for that season, then it's kind of like, okay, well, now my next best pick was 24th in the draft. So, I don't really like number one, honestly. I don't really like 12 either, but I think, kind of that 5 to 7 or 8 range, that's kind of a good sweet spot.
Tyreek Hill goes first.
Wow.
What do you guys think? Right. Assuming it's McCaffrey and Lamb next. I know Brian said I'm on Raw last stream. Still want to go with that reach a little bit.
I'm an Amon-Ra guy, but if you guys think there's more, Chase scares me. Jefferson scares me. Amon-Ra to me
I'm fine with Hammer and Brown. I like Brown. Solid QB situation. And also the Lions receiving core, not that strong after Brown. I mean, yeah, Laporta's there, but in terms of just receivers, I mean, St. Brown's going to be easily, dominating target share at that position. So, yeah, no, I'm completely okay with that pick.
Yeah, we just took Amon-Ra.
Don't sound so upset about it. He's a great player.
I mean, I don't have a lot of him. I have more Jamar.
That's good. You get exposure.
Yeah. So does anyone have the week 17 memorized yet? Who plays Detroit?
San Francisco.
Oh my God, you sick fuck.
I'm becoming a best ball bro. What can I say? All right, so looks like 2 of the 7 first picks, 3 of the first 8 now running back. Interesting.
Yeah,
curious to see what happens the next couple picks here.
We didn't talk about it last time, but what do you guys think about Marvin Harrison going like 11, 12, the 1-2 turn?
I think he's being drafted at his ceiling, so I think the only way for him to pay off is to do what people are expecting him. I don't think there's much room for upside. You're drafting him at his ceiling, and anything less than perfect is going to be a disappointment.
See, I disagree. That's like peak redraft brain right there, because you're like, oh, he has to pay off his ADP and finish ahead of wide receiver 6, but like he really doesn't. He has to be like productive for the whole season and then come on strong in like the playoffs. If he's top 3 wide receiver in the playoffs, he pays off his ADP no matter what he does in the regular season. And rookies.
But then I guess in that line of thinking, you're really, I mean, you're going to look at week 15 through 17 and you're going to say, all right, what matchups does he have? Because that's kind of the best ball mindset, I would think, compared to redraft. Because I think being in that redraft mindset, like Brian was saying, like, because I would agree with that from a redraft standpoint, that you're kind of drafting him at a ceiling. But then again, if you're looking at week 17, and I mean, I don't know who they play off the top of my head, I'd have to look again, but they're playing somebody who has a terrible secondary, then it's like, okay, he could have 30 points that week, and Marvin Harrison's obviously got the talent. So maybe it does make a lot of sense.
Right. And like the thing is, like, trying to project matchups like 15 weeks out, like, good luck. Like, I won't be doing that, but I know some people are into that kind of thing. I'm personally not. This guy is very high T. Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley.
So he went double running back.
Yeah,
which
that guy
is kind of the opposite of what
you should do. Let's get a look at what our potential next pick here is. I'm curious some of the wide receivers. I really like Waddle.
Get this thing update. You like Waddle? Yeah.
If Waddle falls here, I don't know how we will take him.
Well, we have him twice. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that, but I mean, how do you guys feel about Nico Collins this year? I mean, he was awesome last year. I think he's growing a lot of rapport with CJ Stroud, but it's a crowded receiver room. So, I mean, how do you approach that?
I like him a lot, but also like the thing that makes me scared about him is, let's make this pick first. Devon Achane just went, Waddle just went. So it leaves us with like Olave, Cup, Adams, Neighbors, Kyron, Ayuk.
I think if I had who's the first person? I think I like Olave. I think I like a lot what that Saints offense looks like based on what the new OC has been doing so far.
All right, we'll go Olave. So Ayuk, if we can get him back, he correlates with McCaffrey, so we can get Purdy too.
Assuming he stays in San Francisco.
Well, yeah, that's true. Who do the Steelers play in Week 17? You guys need to study.
Kansas City?
Oh my God, you sick fuck.
I'm doing my homework. What can I say? All right, so I still think we should go wide receiver here. I would really like some redemption on Devonta Smith.
I think we got better options than him on the board, though. Now they're flying off. I mean, well, Adams was there a second ago, but he's gone.
I mean, go back to Stephon Diggs. But
I don't know. I don't know. I kind of still like Kupp. I know last year didn't end well, and I get it. I know Puka's there now, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like if he's healthy this year, I still think with Stafford loves him when he was healthy. I mean,
Kupp is still there.
Still like Kupp a lot.
Yeah. Way past ADP, I feel like we have to pick him.
Way past ADP. Smith is gone. This is an easy decision for me.
Yeah.
Good call, Anthony.
So going back to the Nico Collins thing, the only thing that makes me a little cautious about Nico is like when him and Tank Dell are both healthy, when they both came on, like kind of like halfway through the season, like the people who like knew what they're doing, making projections, were projecting Tank Dell like not like significantly ahead, but 2 or 3 points more each week than Nico Collins. So that kind of scares me a little bit. I know it's a little different now because Stephon Diggs is there and Tank Dell is going to be playing every snap, but does that scare you guys off at all?
The Vegas line for Nico total yards is around 1,025 for the year. It's the highest. I think Diggs is around 925. Dell's like 875. So they're expecting a somewhat even distribution of targets, with Nico getting a slight bump compared to the other two. Nico seems like a good player for best ball just because when he hits, he really hits. You know, there's been weeks last year where he had like around 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. And in a format like best ball, I'm learning that's really the desired upside that you want on a week-to-week basis. But I don't know. I think, we've heard a lot of positive reports with Cooper Kupp that the offense runs through him. So I like the fact that we got him there instead of Nico, even if he was the choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just scared by the projection. If they're I don't know. I think they're going to throw the ball a ton more, so I think they're all like fine. Because they were, I saw it today, they were like 24th in like neutral pass rate, which is super low for having CJ Stroud and Nico Collins and Tank Dell. But it's only going to go up from here once they have more confidence.
Now, at what point should we start considering correlation? We've made 3 picks pretty much just based on best player available at this point. What point should we start pivoting to seeing who correlates and what potential stacks we can get with this team?
I mean, I'm always looking at correlations, like even from the beginning. It doesn't mean you always have to take who correlates. Like if there's just a player take that you think is significantly different, you can go with the player take. But even from like the first 2 rounds, I'm correlating.
Okay. That's helpful.
And going back to St. Brown, who we took, first round, I mean, they play, I think Brian said San Francisco in week 17. So, I mean, that's got a lot of potential right there. Because, I mean, San Francisco loaded on offense. There's probably 5 or 6 guys that I would be completely fine with taking in this draft from San Francisco. So
I like Jawan Johnson as a late round, easy correlated pick with Amon-Ra. That game should be a shootout. I'd expect it to mean something to both teams too at that point in the season.
Jawan Johnson?
Yeah.
Correlated with who?
With Amon-Ra.
They don't correlate.
Who am I thinking of?
Oh, we have drafted Olave.
Oh, that's what I was referring to.
Back with Carr.
Yep.
Let's see who we're looking at here.
And Jawan Jennings was who I was thinking of, not Johnson. With Amon-Ra.
Not picking him. I'd rather have Pearsall.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, no, I would. When did he go? He went in the first round, didn't he? Pearsall?
Yeah, it was the last pick, I think, of the
Last
first
pick
round.
of the first round.
Yeah. Give me that over dusty Juwan Jennings.
We'll see.
So what do you guys think about Derrick Henry? I have drafted Derrick Henry one time. I don't know, man.
I think that was one too many.
I'm not drafting him. I'm not drafting Lamar. Like, I've drafted Lamar one time. Andrew 7%, which isn't about normal. So we're getting to the point here. Quarterback, tight end, quarterback, tight end at the top. Because of that, I've drafted so much George Pickens, and I don't like George Pickens. So what do you guys think?
Yeah,
Harry
no, I
McLaurin
agree. I mean, I said in the first one, no Steelers. That's my rule. If we
True.
take a Steeler at any point during these best ball
Yeah,
drafts, it
we're
was
on the
not
clock.
my pick. What do we got?
Can't
we
take
got running
Hurts, we
back
don't have any
wise?
guys.
No.
Terry McLaurin is maybe looking a little bit better now because of Dotson. He might get
Scroll
a
down to the
million
wide
dollars.
receivers real quick.
I don't mind that. I really don't.
That or Ridley.
Man, you love Ridley.
I'd
We should
rather
probably
have
get Ridley
Terry.
coming back.
I do love Ridley. Ridley should have had like 7 more touchdowns last year. It was insane what was going on. A couple drops in the end zone. 3 times he caught a pass out of bounds in the back of the end zone.
I don't know. I just don't think he's as good as DeAndre Hopkins, honestly. I'd rather have him.
Okay, that's fair.
So through 4 rounds, we have Amon-Ra, Chris Olave, Cooper Kupp, and Terry McLaurin. We're up in 4.
Yeah, I mean, look at
picks.
that. I mean, that's
I think the
way
best-
better wide receiver than we had, first time around.
Yep.
So it looks like a little quarterback run's going on. Is there any real consideration to picking a quarterback in the 5th round here?
I mean, I hate Lamar, so I wouldn't pick him.
Okay.
Josh Allen, I like. Jalen Hurts, I like if I have like a Philly receiver. But yeah, and I do love Mahomes. I've been trying to get him more. I mean, like he finished at his absolute floor last year, and he was quarterback 6. Like,
Yeah, that's true. Tough to stack though. But I guess with Brown
Not
we
really.
could get him late.
Brown, yeah.
The baller. are you thinking
What are we
Mahomes
thinking here? Travis Kelce, if he gets to us 12 picks past ADP, that seems
I
crazy.
think that's a smash. Oh,
Yeah,
he
he's
just
gone.
went. Yeah.
What do we think? You want Ridley, Brian? We can chill at receiver for a bit.
I like Ridley, and then we can look at other options. Yeah, I think he's
Are we-
going to be surprising.
Are we entertaining running backs yet, or do we just not like what's on the board?
We are, but they're
I
pretty
just gotta
far
see
down
what's.
ADP. What do you think here?
No, I mean I'm not nuts about Rashad White. So
Yeah, I don't
I'm
get
fine
his
with
ADP
passing.
whatsoever. He seems like
He just catches a lot of passes. Not efficient.
I was going to say, seems like a volume merchant, not something I really want to deal with. Although I have 5% of him, that's too much. So thinking about like week 17 correlations, so we can stack Calvin Ridley with Will Levis. I love Commanders quarterback. What's his name?
Oh, Daniels.
Jaden
Yeah, I love Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm glad we got Terry. I love Daniels. I think he's going to be great this year.
So if we're looking at that, we should think about getting like an Atlanta bringback for week 17. Let's take a look. Also, this is going to sound crazy. You guys are not going to like this, but last round pick, Ray McLeod.
I'd rather
Not
take
the
Tyler
worst.
Algier.
I do like Tyler Algier as well. But, I mean, Ray, he looks like he's going to be a starting receiver on their team. Over Rondale Moore.
Not
Rondale
for
Moore
long.
dead.
Well, Rondale's out, so
If you guys want to feel good about yourself and then make sure you're not me, I drafted Rondale Moore once.
again, just like Derrick Henry, a little one too many times.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, let's see what the board's doing. I want to see what other teams have here so we can expect what to pick here.
Yeah,
So-
if I was drafting by myself, I for sure would have taken Xavier Worthy there. He's been rising pretty good, and I just think he's going to be awesome.
I mean, if you wanted the Mahomes stack, he would have been the pick to get, and then he
Yeah,
would have
Mahomes went 35 because we have this guy,
Oh,
Hendon.
I didn't even notice.
Hendon Nation, who hasn't done a single Best Ball Mania draft ever, so he's going to be a little wild card.
And he was the one that went 2 running backs, I think.
No,
Start. Oh no, he wasn't. Okay,
that guy did 8 drafts last year.
good to know.
That's what this stuff at the top is.
Got it.
8D.
I will say I do like the start of this team a lot more than last one. It seems like we're playing offense more than defense. No pun intended.
No one in this lobby wants tight ends. I mean, if Kyle Pitts gets us, that'd be awesome, but he will not.
I mean, we've waited this long on a running back. We still got like halfway decent options on the board. Like
We
I don't
do.
even feel like we're like missing out. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'd be fine with Kamara, Connor. Like those are productive guys. Like
I was gonna say
I
no
mean-
one in best ball wants Kamara because he's a dust ball. He's like old as shit. But I mean, like he's just gonna get
I'll take him.
peppered. Plus,
Yeah.
we already have Olave, so we can get.
We have Olave as well.
I think, like, thinking about it this way, like always, because I said last week, correlations with like a wide receiver and a running back are kind of like, for over the season, they're positively correlated, but for the same game, like week 17, they're negatively correlated. I think it's a little bit different with a guy like Kamara, who is going to catch a lot of passes if they're behind. So I don't hate that as much.
Yeah, I agree. Kamara is not. He's not a Derrick Henry. He's not going to just be involved in the run game. If anything, he'll be more involved in the passing game than the run game at this point.
Right.
What position is Taysom Hill? Just out of curiosity. Do they have him as a quarterback or tight end?
Quarterback, yeah.
Okay.
There was big controversy last year. It was very entertaining because one of the other sites, not Underdog, I forget which one, but they had Taysom Hill as a tight end all year until like September 1st. And they're like, actually, we're going to change him to a quarterback on all your teams.
Oh, man.
So there was this guy on Twitter, a legend, Beretta James, and he absolutely went off. And he put, like, it was probably like, I'm not even exaggerating, a 50 tweet thread, and not a single punctuation mark was used. And he was just going off because he had like 30% Taysom Hill.
That's awesome. I mean, yeah, if he's a tight end and putting up, running back, quarterback, wide receiver numbers, why not? But okay, just wanted to make sure. All right, looks like we're up in here in 3 more picks. Are there any, other than Pitts, is there any other names jumping out at you guys at this point?
Oh, man, I like the Dunze there.
Yeah, I love a Dunze.
Yeah, that would have been great. I mean, 6 wide receivers to start, but, man, that would have been... Whew.
What about Kittle correlating with Amon-Ra? Is there any desire to do that?
Yes,
I
like
don't hate that, yeah.
What do you guys think about Kittle?
I mean, Kittle at this point, I feel like in their offense, he's going to have weeks where he busts. I mean, that's just how it is in that offense. He's going to have weeks where he gets 3 points, but I mean, he's certainly got the potential for 25-point weeks, I mean, still at this point in the draft, what are we on, round 7 now? So, I mean, I feel like it makes 6. Yeah, I feel like it makes a ton of sense though.
Yep. I like it.
Yeah. I
haven't been picking him a ton, but I do like it for the correlation, especially week 17. So that kind of makes me want to pick one of Purdy or Goff, just because we already have a lot of draft capital invested in like that game. So it kind of makes sense to come out with one of them. I'm thinking probably Goff because I really want to try and get Jaden Daniels.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good strategy.
And what do you guys think if we get Goff and Daniels? Do you want to stop at 2, or do you want to go for a third late in the draft? We can decide later, but
yeah, I would go Justin Fields. I'll just keep saying that every episode.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
Austin?
I mean, hey, he's a deep threat, and Justin Fields will air it out. He's done it before.
Yeah, he'll air it out to the sidelines where there's nobody there.
I'll take the chance in round 17 and 18.
All right, we are on deck here.
You will be alone in that one.
What are we thinking?
Is this a spot for Kamara yet? Or, I mean, what are we thinking? No Kamara. Running back.
It's close to his ADP.
I also like Najee a lot at 20% of him.
He's a Steeler, disqualified.
Yeah. All right, Kamara.
Kamara also correlates with Olave too, so smart.
Yep. So that kind of makes me want to take Carr at the end of the draft too. So that's kind of
he could be our third, yeah.
Locked in unless we get sniped, which in this draft with some kind of random people.
With 7 people who never did it before, yeah, it could happen.
Yeah. So this is kind of the range where all these like first and second round rookies are going. Keon Coleman, Brian Thomas, Ladd McConkey, Rome. Do you guys have anyone that stands out in that group?
I mean, I like Rome a lot. I mean, not going to do anything for us now. He obviously was taken, but McConkey, I like him. I mean, I know it's going to be later in the draft that we'd be looking at him, but I mean, McCaffrey's interesting on Washington now. I mean, part of it's just name value, but I mean, I think he's going to have an opportunity with the team. I think he's going to have a real opportunity there. And I think Washington, guys might disagree with this. I'm not saying they're going to be like playoff team, but I think at least their offense is going to be like sneaky good this season. So
the problem is that they're going to have 2 losses automatically to the Giants, so it's not looking good for them.
I don't know about that. I think I don't know. To answer that direct question about the rookies, I kind of feel the same way about Jacksonville's offense as you do with Washington's, Anthony. I think Trevor Lawrence had such high expectations coming into the league that no matter what he did, unless it was, put on like a Patrick Mahomes type of performance, people were going to be disappointed with him. From what I've seen from Brian Thomas, I was impressed what he did in college. So he would be the guy that in this range I would be taking.
Yeah, I love Brian Thomas personally. Can't get enough of him. Keon Coleman is coming on strong for me too. He's gotten good buzz out of camp. I think we've seen Khalil Shakir. We know what he is. We've seen Curtis Samuel. We know what he is. Although there are the advanced analytics bros who are in love with Khalil Shakir and have been for like 6 years. I'm still waiting for the breakout. So,
hey, I mean, if he can't break out this year, he never will.
Yeah, it's so true.
I mean, the thing with Buffalo, everyone's going to have an opportunity in that room now. With Gabe Davis gone and Diggs gone, it's kind of a messy situation. But also from fantasy perspective, it could be optimistic because you could really make a case for any of those guys. Just depending on where you want to go with it.
So what are we thinking here? We have one running back, 5 receivers, and a tight end. Let's check out ADP. So Jaden Daniels maybe, probably at 93 if we want him. We'll take him here with the next pick.
I like that.
Unless there's someone else that stands out. I mean, I think this is absurd. Jalen Warren's ADP has dropped like 10 points after this hamstring injury, and it looks like he's going to be fine. So I'm not sure.
They said they said that they wouldn't be surprised if he played week 1. I mean, this could be like getting a free Jalen Warren at this price.
I just don't get it. He was going right next to Najee, which is kind of the way that the ADP has worked out this year, which is interesting. So all these guys, if you look at Tony Pollard and Tyjae Spears are kind of going right next to each other. Chase Brown and Zach Moss right next to each other. That's kind of just the way it's been. Rico and Zeke going right next to each other.
Yep.
I feel like that's pretty efficient. It's kind of the way it should be. This guy doesn't have a quarterback yet and has never done a draft before, so hopefully he doesn't snipe us.
If he did, he's going to take Burrow.
All right, we're good. Easy click. Jaden Daniels. And we're up in 6 picks. What are we thinking coming back? I like this range for running backs.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the spot for running backs, I'm learning.
Honestly, Warren's I'm kind of I'm leaning even in a straight up 1v1, Brandon Cooks, AD Mitchell. I don't know. I'd rather just wait and take what do you guys think about Jalen Tolbert? He's been rising pretty good. Kind of seems locked in as wide receiver 3 on the Cowboys, and if CeeDee Lamb holds out,
I'm just not high on that offense.
You're not high on the Cowboys offense?
Not without Lamb. That he's that offense. It'll be.
No, I agree.
Bottom 5, bottom 10.
I think it's just going to be. I mean, I think it's going to be an offense where Lamb is scoring 20-25 a week, and then after that, again, just standard scoring, 20-25 a week, and then the next best guy is going to be averaging 8 points a week.
We're on the clock here. Jonathan Brooks past ADP, probably going to miss the beginning of the season. Yeah. Romeo Dobbs, we talked about last time. Tony Pollard, Brian Robinson.
Tough range for running backs. I mean, I like Brooks, but injuries. But I mean, then again, we're not looking at full season. It's not redraft mindset. I got to get myself out.
I baited you guys. I was waiting for someone to say that. That's the correct pick. Let's go.
Is there any correlation with that pick though?
Correlation is fake. Doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Unless it's a pick that I want, then it matters. So that sets us up for Tampa Bay, and I've been taking a lot of McMillan lately.
I was going to say McMillan seems like a logical pick later in the draft with that pick where you just made there.
Yep. Let's take a look at the board. Brian Robinson too. I don't know if you guys saw that tweet that he's locked in as the running back 1. They're really, really liking him, which makes sense because Austin Eckler is a dust ball.
That's interesting because I thought I read a report a week or 2 ago that said that they expected it to be a 1A, 1B situation with Robinson taking the bulk of the carries and Eckler that third down passing role. But yeah, I mean, Robinson's a good player. I could see why he overtook Eckler.
Yeah, I think he's a very good player. I think he's going to rise a lot in the last couple weeks here. So I like that pick. Zach Moss, what do you guys think about that? Because the buzz is Chase Brown. Zach Moss has been falling a lot past his ADP. Do you guys like him at all?
I'd be a little skeptical on Moss. I mean, I followed him back into his Buffalo days, and he just really never got off the ground. And then, last year he kind of came on strong. It was out of nowhere. It was oh my God, Zach Moss, he lives. And I don't know. I feel I feel like it's just kind of like jumping the gun to think that he's going to be like the Joe Mixon replacement. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, he had good stats, like good advanced stats, per run stats, broken tackle rate were all good. Like that's the first time he's ever had that. So I don't know if that's
Right.
even real, but I mean, it was good
It
stats.
smells like Alexander Madison to me.
I've been taking Alexander Madison. I think I said it last week, but
You haven't watched him play then, if that's the case.
Here's the thing. Here's my logic, right? And someone else, Nez said this on his draft a couple of weeks ago. He said either we're really wrong about Zamir White and he should be going way earlier, or we're really wrong about the backups and they should be going way earlier, because Zamir White 89th, and then there's no running backs until 212. Alexander Madison 215, Dylan Lob, and 216 Amir Abdullah, who I would never click. But like something's wrong there. Something's inefficient.
Yeah, I think it's just, I think what I'm realizing is that you really want to target these ambiguous backfields that
Correct.
really don't have a clear number one. Like I actually think for that reason, Zach Moss could be a good pick, because, Bengals are going to be a good offense. We expect, at least. Chase Brown has shown he's struggled in pass protection, his, last year especially. I think they really like Zach Moss in that regard. The Colts used him well like that as well when he was there last year. So I think he's going to be on the field a lot, and being on the field in a high-powered offense as a running back means you get a lot of opportunities.
I mean, here's my thing about Chase Brown. I love Chase Brown. I'm picking him a ton, but like we only saw like one good play from him last year. What if he's just not that good? Have we considered that?
No, and it looks like we're up in one pick here.
Yeah. We can reach
Pollard
a
on the
little
board
bit to secure Goff, or we're reaching past 4 quarterbacks, or we can try and.
Are we good at
I think we should
receiver
push-
right now?
let's
I
push
mean,
him.
we've got what, 5? We got 5. I mean, is
5.
this all right?
It's kind of like pick whatever position we want here. I think we should wait on Goff though.
Should we get Purdy?
No, it's a lot of draft capital on quarterback. I would wait. I'd rather have Goff, because we talked about. Anyone standing out? Running back, receiver.
I do Jerome Ford. I think he's going to have
I
a
hate
surprisingly good year. Okay.
Whatever, we'll pick him. The reason I hate Jerome Ford, I feel like it's redraft brain. Like, he'll be productive at the beginning of the season, and then Nick Chubb comes back. He had the backfield all to himself last year, and he still wasn't that good for fantasy. I just don't see him carving out a role when Nick Chubb comes back. I mean, if you don't believe in Nick Chubb, you think injuries are real.
I'm concerned about his injury, so we'll see how. I mean, there hasn't been that many updates on Chubb's recovery up to this point, so I expect them to nurse him back slowly. I think Ford will be good value.
I feel like they're going to be cautious with him, but I mean, like Eric said, I mean, I'm right there with you. Nick Chubb is one of those dudes I am not doubting whatsoever. I mean, if he comes back and scores 20 his first week, like, it's not going to surprise me. Like, this dude, I mean, you can go back to pictures of him when he was, in like 10th, 11th grade, and like, this dude he's not a human.
Yeah, I mean, squatting 600 pounds after ACL surgery, like 7 months later, that's pretty good. Yeah, so you guys want Goff here if he gets back to us? Because I think like we talked about, we have Amon-Ra already and George Kittle, so like we kind of want that game some way or another.
Yeah, Goff seems like the pick.
Yeah. I mean, if I knew we were going to pick Jerome Ford, I would have just said pick Brock Purdy, but ran out of time there. Let's take a look at the board.
So if he makes it back to us, I mean, is Chubb a guy you would consider pretty soon if he makes it back to us?
Not since we just picked Jerome Ford. I don't think that's.
That's fair. Yeah, that's
both
fair.
Of them are going to be good. I think there are backfields where I take both guys. Like, if you think about last year, like if you took Mostert and Devon Achane, congratulations, you win all the money. But I don't know. I just think that that's one of the backfields I would do that with. I would also consider doing it with Denver. I think that Javonte and Jaleel can both be good if that offense outperforms what people are projecting, because they're both going kind of late, kind of like how the Dolphins were last year. No one really knows what their roles are going to be. I just don't know. How do you guys believe in Sean Payton reviving an offense?
No, but I believe that the value that you can get from those two running backs this late in the draft is worth taking a shot on.
Yeah, agreed. But I mean, you kind of have to believe in the offense to be better, because like we talked about, like half PPR, you kind of need a bunch of touchdowns to be valuable. Like Gus Edwards was super valuable last year, and he's a dust ball. He just fell in the end zone.
There goes Chubb. I mean, I think the Broncos offense is going to be improved this year. I mean, Nix was just named the starter. Look, he's not going to be one of these flashy guys, throws up the sidelines, but he's an efficient player. I mean, obviously he's got Sean Payton there, and, I'm not saying they're obviously the same guy. I'm not saying that, but he's got some Drew Brees qualities to him and how he plays. So I mean, I could see it being a situation where Nix, doesn't light the world on fire his rookie season, but, still has a very efficient, productive fantasy season and, just makes the offense better overall.
Something that I think too, talking about late quarterbacks, I've been loving taking at least one late quarterback. Like one of these guys like Levis, Bo Nix, Bryce Young, Drake May. One of those guys is going to be good. Like maybe not CJ Stroud level like last year we saw with someone going that late, but like one of them has to be good, right? I feel like just taking one of them in every draft is probably the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's like law of averages.
Yeah, right.
I think if anyone, it'll probably be Levis, just because he's the one that I think will take the most shots downfield. He has two pretty good wide receivers that have a track record of success, so it would probably be him if I had to put a name to it. Also,
this is getting really deep in the weeds, but Deshaun Watson, he's been like missing practices because of like soreness, which is expected because he had kind of a nasty surgery, fractured his shoulder. But I mean, if he is like potentially going to miss time, like, wait, do you guys know the backup quarterback for Cleveland?
No. Jameis Winston.
Oh, Jameis Winston. That looks
like a
real nice pick if Deshaun Watson is going to miss significant time.
I mean, Jameis has always been good for fantasy. I mean, say
true.
what you want, but he's always been great for fantasy.
Yeah.
Won me 2 championships years ago.
So what are we thinking with our next pick here? We have, let's go through the team. Jayden Daniels, Jared Goff. So we're going to wait on quarterback a little bit. Running back, Kamara, Brooks, Ford, Amon-Ra, Olave, Kupp, McLaurin, Ridley, and Kittle.
I mean, I think from looking at just the first couple on the board, it still looks like there's some value here at running back. Like, again, talking about ambiguous backfields, Ty Chandler, you never know how he's going to do.
I don't hate Darnell Mooney because he correlates with our Washington Week 17. I don't have a lot of him. What do you guys think about that? Unless someone like strongly
I'll
disagrees.
always say yes to correlation.
All right. That's easy.
So here's my question for you, because I know you're a Chandler guy, and Brian, are you high on Chandler too? The thing that worries me, like when I look at that situation, and putting aside like correlation or anything, but I mean, he's on Minnesota, right? Yeah, it's an ambiguous backfield, but also he's on Minnesota, who I expect to be trailing most games this season. Just game script wise, I mean, kind of like how are you justifying that, or like what would you counter that with? I mean, do you feel like he's going to have enough opportunities to score enough, or are you just kind of just looking at ADP and saying, all right, it makes sense?
You can go first, Brian.
I think as he gets taken at the 10, 2 picks before, but I think Aaron Jones has shown he can't stay healthy. I think he'll be valuable. I think whoever that running back is will be valuable in that offense, whether it's just from volume or the offense is better than we expect. But I think, you draft running backs this late to be bell cow potential. If someone gets hurt, I think that's kind of my logic.
So we're up next here. There's a couple guys I like here. I want to hear your thoughts before I say anything. We're on the clock.
McLaughlin stood out to me in just that high-level list.
Yeah, I like McLaughlin. I liked Ray Davis. He's gone. I like Jalen Wright. Any preferences there?
My preference would be McLaughlin just because I'm unsure how much Wright is going to see the field with 2 studs
Anthony?
behind him.
Yeah, no, I like that. I'm good with McLaughlin too.
Personally, I would have went right there. Just be like, I know it's like, we just talk about like ambiguous backfields, right? We know that Julian McLaughlin has a role, so we go with the safe pick. But like, I mean, Jalen Wright's in the same spot that H.M. was in last year. If you think about it, like they had Jeff Wilson ahead of him, they had Raheem Mostert ahead of him, and Devon H.M. was a healthy scratch last year in the first couple of weeks. So like, just because we don't see a role now, especially in Mike McDaniel's offense, like that's someone I want to take a shot on, especially because I only have 3% of him. So like, I think that's what I would have went with, but I also have been taking a lot of McLaughlin, so I get it.
Yeah, I think they're both similar spots. I think the reason why I personally went McLaughlin there is just because I only anticipate one guy ahead of him. He has to just beat out, or one thing has to potentially happen to Javonte. Not that we wish that to happen, but if it does, I think he would I think he would see like 70% of the snaps at the low end. If Mostert got hurt or Achane gets hurt, I still think he would be I think Wright would only be on the field for like 30 to 40% of the snaps at the high end, assuming.
See, I don't know. I don't really agree with that. I think that if Javonte went down, I think it'd just be Audric Estime at that point, and McLaughlin would keep the same role. I don't really think they play the same position.
I don't know. Ambiguous backfield. Well, I wish we had the data available to us now. What'll happen?
Look at Pearsall just went. All right. My guy right there.
Yeah. Something interesting, too, with the Dolphins situation is that they played by far the most two running back formations compared to any team. So, just because you don't see, that role if Mostert gets hurt, which he has in the past, or if he's just not that good anymore because he's, 39, they could just play the two fastest guys in the world, Jalen Wright and Devon Achane.
It's possible.
So let's take a look at the board. Actually, let's look at our team first.
It's been a while since we took receiver. Who did we get?
We got Mooney.
Oh, Mooney. Okay.
So we have Jaden Daniels, Jared Goff, Kamara Brooks, Ford, McLaughlin, St. Brown, Olave, Cup, Terry McLaurin, Ridley, Mooney, and Kittle.
So I think we should also just focus a little bit on correlation too. I feel like we've been talking a lot about players we want in this spot, but not as much emphasis on who would best correlate or stack with our team.
Yeah, so Jermaine Burton has a lot of correlations for us. Denver in week 17, Cleveland in week 16, and Tennessee in week 15, so that's a triple. Is he still there?
He should be. I didn't see him go off the board.
He's not there.
Interesting.
Oh, he's still there. He's
still pretty far down.
Yeah, we can push it.
I like him, though. I do like Burton. I mean, Burton kind of, I think steps in a little bit to that Tyler Boyd role. So, I mean, just in terms of, on the depth chart.
Anyone standing out here?
Jalen McMillan stacks correlates with our picks so far.
Yeah, I think that's a fair pick.
Yeah, I like McMillan. Like I said, I've been taking him a lot more. I think that he might not be like the locked in starter week 1, but I think he'll definitely earn it. He's been getting a ton of buzz in preseason.
Yeah, we reached a little bit, but to assure a stack, kind of what I was talking about yesterday or last week, reaching to ensure a stack or correlation, I'm realizing is more important than just getting a better value.
I mean, at this point, it depends on the point in the draft. In the first couple rounds, I'll pretty much always take an ADP value just because it's going to be a rare combo. So you want rare combos. We'll get into that in a second. But after round 15, it doesn't really matter where you take the guys. How much different is Demario Douglas from someone I don't know, Tyler Boyd? They're kind of the same thing. They're both going to play the slot only.
Should we consider taking a second tight end here? We only have Kittle so far.
I'd wait.
Yeah, I don't like who's on the board for tight ends right now. We're getting into Hunter Henry territory. Oof.
I like Noah Fant, but so we're on the clock here. Probably need a running back, I would say.
Yeah, Gibson,
Lloyd, Tracy.
Tyrone Tracy could be good.
He was running with the.
What do you think about Bigsby? I mean,
I think we can get him
one injury to ETN. Okay, I mean ADP. Yeah, he's still
Tracy or Gibson.
I would go Tracy.
I would Tracy. Yeah, Gibson. You kind of already know what he is, and I mean, on the Patriots offense. I mean, I guess the Giants. How much better is that? But Gibson, you already know what he is. And it's nothing that excites me.
Yeah, Tracy correlates with Mooney in week 16 too.
Yep.
So let's kind of plan out the rest of the draft. We have 3 picks left, so we're gonna take Derek Carr at some point. Need another tight end. And then we kind of
there.
Who's still there?
Ben Sinnott.
Juwan Johnson looks nice, triple stack with the Saints. That's kind of one of those things where it's if the Saints offense is good, we want as many pieces as we can, especially with Juwan Johnson going so late. When when he wasn't hurt, he was in round 15 or 16. He got steamed up before he hurt his foot. So that's a really good value. Still, people aren't taking him early enough. I don't know what's going on there.
He's a red zone threat.
Yeah, I can't believe he's lower than Jonnu Smith. Are we serious right now?
I know. I agree. And then we go another running back or receiver. I think we should probably wait for that. Also, the thing with Jerome Ford, like I know I talk shit about that pick, but he kind of pairs well with Jonathan Brooks. As much as I hate to say it, he'll get early season production. Brooks won't. So whatever.
That's fair.
I mean, we could also take like somebody like Yoshavas if he's still there to correlate with some of our other picks. Bengals.
That's true. I did forget
down.
we said Burton. Is he still there? Probably not. Oh, he's still there.
Wow, Quentin Johnston is getting drafted ahead of Burton. That is criminal.
I just like he was going like in the 140s a couple months ago, and he just hasn't fallen enough. Like if you look at someone like Kendre, who's going around him, he's 210 ADP. Like just no one's picking him anymore.
I think people are just nervous because he's sharing the field with Chase and Higgins. But that being said, they're going to score points. I mean, since he's going to score points, and Burton, I mean, Alabama guy coming into the league. I'm usually not going to pass up on guys from Bama.
Yeah, that's a good bet to make. Juwan Johnson just goes to 177.
Good. Ben Sinnott is available.
How many Washington players do we have? Just the stack?
We have Jaden Daniels. Yeah.
All right. I don't hate that.
You won't hate it in week 17 either.
I saw a tweet that he was supposedly 5th on the depth chart according to like preseason like playing time, and I just don't know if I believe that. It seems like kind of bullshit to me, but
I think he'll start out slow, but really focusing on like the back half of the season and week 15, 16, 17, I really think his role is going to continue to expand as the season goes on.
Yeah.
Once they see that Ertz is a literal fossil, we'll have to put somebody else out there.
I mean, and going back to like the rare combos that I was talking about before, like this, if you guys want to keep doing the show when like the season starts, there's like the weekly drafts that they have. It's kind of like the same setup, except it's 6 rounds and like you only pick 6 players, obviously. It's like the same format, just like smaller. And like the thing with that is like the rare combos are like so important to like passing the field. So like let's say a good example of this is like if you take Lamar Jackson, you're going to always take Mark Andrews. So like think about like how much of the field is going to be taking like Lamar Jackson with Travis Kelce. Like it's probably going to be like 0.1%. Like no one wants that stack. It's disgusting because like it's just not correlated. But like if it does hit together and Mahomes doesn't go off and separate and you have Lamar, like that's like you're just going to pass everyone.
It's true.
And you kind of see it more at the end of the draft where it's like you have a guy like, let's say just hypothetically, like it's Colby Parkinson who's getting drafted in every draft, or Dawson Knox is getting drafted in like 1% of drafts. Pretty much always want to take Dawson Knox, even though he's probably going to project like a point worse in like median projection, just to like sacrifice some of that ownership to like, if he does go off, no one has him and you pass the field. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Welcome Puka Nacua from last year.
Right. Except Kyron Williams too. And like, if you think about it, like, so the contest that we're drafting in is 75% full. So like some of these guys like just were not being drafted at all.
Yeah.
Months ago.
Makes sense. I mean, it's kind of like daily fantasy a little bit in that regard, where like if you pick one guy who, nobody has, less than 1% ownership, they go off for 25 points, then you're passing the field.
Take Burton. We okay with that?
Yeah, we'll take Burton. Then we should look at another tight end. We can't just get by with Kittle.
I would probably take Carr first.
Oh yeah, Carr first, but we should just see who's available that could correlate with us.
I will always pound the table for Theo Johnson.
Does he correlate?
Who cares?
That's fair.
He correlates with Atlanta week 16.
With who? Atlanta
week 16 with the Giants.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing with daily fantasy, where like the thing that people kind of get wrong with like daily fantasy is like they think like, oh, I'm going to play this guy that's 0.1% owned and just like beat everyone and get lucky, but like it doesn't really work like that. There's a reason he's 0.1% owned. It's more about finding combos that people don't want to play. Or if it's like, it's more like DraftKings, obviously, but like if you're going to pay up for like McCaffrey and Saquon, where like most people aren't going to do that. They're going to pay up for McCaffrey and then play like someone at like the salary floor for the second guy.
Back. Yeah,
exactly. Because it's like hard to fit those guys in. Taking Derek Carr here.
Yep. It looks like the only person we haven't correlated with is Cooper Kupp, which is frustrating given that he was our 3rd round pick.
That's fine. I think he's good enough where it doesn't really matter. The good thing, like this team is again pretty well correlated, so we did good with that. I would really like to get Theo Johnson personally, but I'm open to suggestions.
Theo Johnson, again, talk about just unknown rookie upside potential. He's probably, he's the only one on this list that I think, we don't know what he is yet potentially in the NFL.
No, I agree with that.
Whether that's good or bad.
Right.
I mean, we're in the last round here shooting for upside.
Right. Yeah, I say do it. I mean, yeah, I agree with that.
I just don't get Colby Parkinson.
No, I don't. Yeah, that makes no sense.
Because what's
that's
Tyler
just
Higbee?
a product of him being on the Rams. You know what I mean?
Tyler Higbee's coming back too at some point.
Yeah,
it's just
that's just thinking high volume offense, like McVay, Stafford. The talent's not there. I just don't see it. I've never seen it with him. So to me, that's just kind of stupid ADP.
I also have 12% Chig from taking him a couple months ago, and that looks like a terrible pick.
Yeah,
delete that.
The only other person, if Theo Johnson does go, Penix. If Theo Johnson does go, I do like Tucker Kraft potentially. No correlation really with our team, but I again, talk about ambiguous tight end positions. He really stepped up when Musgrave was hurt last year. So
this guy might have the worst team I've ever seen in my life. He picked C.J. Stroud, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Fields, and Michael Penix. What are we doing? Yeah, that's not great. And 4 tight ends too.
Oh, he took Colby Parkinson, Anthony.
Yeah, there you go.
That's summarizes his knowledge.
All right, we beat one guy already, so hey, we're off to a good start.
Yeah, that's true. So what do you guys think? We're still also 19% Daniel Jones. That seems a little. I don't know, what are we doing? What am I doing here?
Yeah, I mean, it's Theo Johnson, assuming he's there.
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense.
Did you guys see Theo Johnson had a 50-yard touchdown and then dropped it over the middle of the field?
No, but that does mean he can separate.
This guy might take him. To be honest, he has 2 tight ends only, and that would be very disappointing because his backup plan's kind of not great.
Let's see.
We're good.
Nope, he had to have that Khalif Raymond instead.
All right. So, how do you guys think this draft went?
I like it.
The team that were in the.
I think we made a very big improvement from the first one.
Yeah, I think we might have overcorrected the other way because our running backs are kind of weak. Probably should have went with 6 running backs, but I don't hate it. I think it's fine.
I mean, wide receivers are what gets you points. They're less. I think they're less prone to injuries. We have some good quarterbacks correlated with their number 1 receivers. We have a good correlation in week 17. I really like the team. I think what I've learned is that you can kind of get by with running backs, and having guys like Kamara and Jerome Ford and Jonathan Brooks when he comes back talk about somebody's stock going up like that. When Brooks when Brooks comes back healthy, and the Panthers could be a better offense as the season progresses because they can't get much worse than what they were last year. I think Brooks could be a real difference maker for the team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. If we didn't take Ford, I would have smashed Nick Chubb so hard because I'm thinking to myself right now, week 15 through 17, Brooks comes back healthy, Chubb comes back healthy, we're set up. And that doesn't, I mean, that's not even taking a running back to what, the 6th round, I think we did with Kamara. So, yeah, I mean, Ford, I think that's fine. But, yeah, I think, honestly, Chubb, that would have been a good pick.
Yeah. We didn't take a running back until round 7, which was wild.
Yeah.
We took Kittle before a running back. So we went 5 straight receivers, tight end, and then our first was Kamara.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast today. I forget which one, so sucks for them. But they were basically saying that in the past years, so you start 2 running backs, 3 receivers, and a tight end flex. It's usually been about 2.5 running backs and 2.5 and 3.5 wide receivers because it's about 50-50 when you start each one in the flex. But people are saying now because this year, if we look at the board, that's a lot of orange. All these receivers are being pushed up. Mm-hmm. So the running backs who are being drafted round 6, 7, 8, 9 are going to project better than the receivers drafted in that same spot. So it might be a little bit different where it's 2.75 running backs and 3.25 wide receivers. So that's also something to consider too because it's a little bit different than previous years.
I think it really doesn't feel like we sacrificed much quality. Like it's not like our RB1 is, just some random guy on a bad offense. It's not like it's Miles Sanders and Jonathan Foreman. So I think we have high upside wide receivers, which to me, especially after going through last draft, was imperative that we got this time around. And I really did like the value at running back in round 7, 8, and 9. So the way that we constructed the team was feels right. The only thing, maybe we should have gone 2 quarterback, 6 running back, 2-6-8-2 build. But again, I understand the importance of correlating Chris Olave with his quarterback just for that potential correlation there with that.
Yeah,
stats.
right. Because we're kind of saying since we drafted Kamara and Olave kind of early, if they're good, we basically need Derek Carr to be good, unless Jameis Winston gets teleported back to New Orleans and Derek Carr gets hurt. So, yeah.
Or Spencer Rattler becomes
he's the backup. Who? I thought he was the 3rd string. Who else do they have? Oh, Taysom Hill.
Yeah, something tells me he would be the one under center for most of the snaps if Carr gets hurt or bench.
Honestly, probably. If you guys want, I don't know if you guys have time. I'm down to do another one, or we could do there's a bunch of different formats we could do too. Up to you guys though, because I'm gonna sit here and do it anyway. So if you wanna,
I'll say I'm happy to.
What kind of formats are there? Sprint, marathon.
So the sprint it's the same thing as WrestleMania, which we just did, except the playoff weeks are cumulative. So instead of having like pods for week 15, 16, and 17, it's just the best score combined from each week gets first place.
Oh wow, that's intense.
And then the marathon cumulative scoring for weeks 1 through 17. So there's no correlation at all. Just draft the best players, and those are the only different formats up right now. And then this one, 6-person draft. Up to you guys.
I'm down to do one more if you'd like.
Yeah, let's do it.
What do you guys want to do? We can also do the same format if you want. Doesn't matter.
I'm kind of getting in the rhythm with the Best Ball Mania one.
All right.
I think if I could pick our spot, it would be 6. We'll see if we get lucky.
We did that last time.
Yeah, it was the first one we did.
I know, but now we know more.
Right.
That's true. That is true.
So just hypothetically, we get the 101. We have to take McCaffrey. Do we just hammer receivers for the next 8 picks, basically, because we're just going hero RB?
I mean, I know we talked about how you have to go receiver early, but man, I don't know. If Devon Achane, you have the 11 pick. If Devon Achane's sitting there at the 2-3 turn, McCaffrey and Achane, that just could just smoke everyone.
And speaking of what you said before about unique combos, how many people with good teams are actually going to have 2 running backs to start out the draft?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. A lot of the sharper people, the better players, love Devon Achane. So I wouldn't be surprised if there are a good amount of combos there. So.
Okay, that's fair. So 11th pick, that'll probably be someone like Garrett Wilson, Puka, Marvin Harrison. It'd be cool to have. I just looking at it, if Puka and Marv fall to us, they correlate with each other right off the jump from my Rain Man attempt.
That's exactly the same thing as CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra last year. So
yeah, give it to me. I mean, the two between Amon-Ra and Lamb last year, I think Lamb had 40 points. Amon-Ra had 26. So
yeah, but also like I said before, the people who are thinking about that drafting correlation are the better drafters. So if that does happen, if they go off, we're also competing with everyone else who has that combo, who's also probably gonna have good teams. I guess that's kind of a long way out to think about, but
yeah, it's true. Wow, St. Brown, 103.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, we're onto something with this guy.
Yeah. Friend of the stream, bound 33.
Why are you so low? That's what I'm trying to understand. What do you not like?
No, I love Lamb.
No, Eric. Eric doesn't like St. Brown, I guess, right?
I don't know. I just think he if it was full PPR, it's a different story. I just don't know how many touchdowns the guy's going to score. I just don't think he has the same upside for touchdowns as Tyreek Hill and.
He's probably going to have more, yeah.
And it's such a touchdown dependent format.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I would have taken Hill over St. Brown there. I'm just saying.
Right.
I mean, I think we got him at what, 4 in the last one, but Hill had already gone. So I mean, that's different. You know.
I mean, even if just looking at this, if we can get Garrett Wilson, Puka, and Marv, like two of those three, they all correlate with each other at some point in the last 3 weeks.
Jonathan Taylor, we're gonna get lucky or make it Garrett Wilson, who I love. Oh,
Nope.
Jinxed it. AJ Brown, I'm assuming.
Brown. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Smash right there. Love it at 11.
And all the projections love Jalen Hurts this year. Like he's
gonna be good,
way higher. So like that kind of gives us access to Hurts. I would just love if Marvin Harrison fell here too.
So I know I just gave a rant about wide receivers, but with Harrison gone, do we want to take Gibbs?
Up to you guys.
It's up to you. I don't know. I'm not a big believer in London. Debo could be good, but he doesn't really correlate with Brown.
I mean, Gibbs is a running back I would take because he can get a lot of receptions. I don't know. I feel like it's worth it.
Let's do it.
Normally, I'd probably say no, but again, I mean, he should be a PPR machine. I mean, it's only half, but
yeah.
And
plus, it's kind of hard to get contingent upside guys this high. Like, let's think about it this way: if Braylon Allen gets hurt, like, how much does that help Brees? Like, not at all. If David Montgomery gets hurt, Jahmyr Gibbs is like the number one running back, or number two, sure. Probably. But yeah,
and he's on an already good offense. We already know what Detroit is. They didn't really have much turnover from last year to this year, so I expect their offense, especially with the fact that they have 14 out of their 17 games in a dome this year. I think Goff is going to put up a great year, and Gibbs will be a beneficiary of that.
So we have 18 people until our next pick, so just kind of want to go through exposures here. So my top quarterbacks, what do you guys think about this list here?
I'm surprised you have Drake May, so 15%. I don't even know how much he's going to play.
You're thinking redraft brain. If he plays, when is he going to play?
Probably week 7 or 8.
Exactly. We have him for the playoffs. That's all we need. He's going in the last round. We already have. If I'm taking him there, we already have 2 quarterbacks.
But do you know anyone do you like any weapon on the Patriots receiving or running back core?
I kind of like Tyquan Thornton.
Oh, good God! All right. Well, that's all that says.
I also take Jalen Polk a lot. I think I have a lot of him. 10%, yeah.
10%, yeah.
So if you have basically, I don't know if I said this before, if you have 8.3% of a player, that's even with what you'd be expected to have. So anyone who I have over 8% is I'm drafting them more than the field.
Yeah, I mean, seems like
I don't feel good about Deshaun Watson. I don't know. He just always seems to fall to me.
But he scores fantasy points. It's ugly. It's like Kyler Murray. It's an ugly watch, but at the end of the game, he'll finish with 25.
I don't think Kyler's an ugly watch.
Well, last couple of years, I've watched the games. There's been plenty of times where he'll have 4 points at halftime. They're down by.
All right, that's all right. 18. Yeah, no, I see what you mean. Yeah.
And then he'll finish the game with 25 because he's chasing points because the defense is bad, and then he's just running the ball. But with that said, I do like Kyler this year, but it's just an ugly. Deshaun Watson's an ugly watch, but more importantly, he scores points.
This is my RBs, up in 8 picks, by the way. I'm still watching.
Najee Harris.
I like Najee. I do.
Well, Najee.
I'm telling you, we talked about it last video. Najee's going to be a surprise. I think it's an ambiguous backfield, but I think he's going to come out okay. And also, Najee's been great the last couple weeks of the season, the last 3 years. I mean, he's like Derrick Henry. He's like a Yeti in the winter, playing cold in Pittsburgh. Who's going to want to tackle that man? I certainly wouldn't.
Let's go back to the board. We'll come back to this.
Yeah, I'm curious who your wide receivers are.
Just going to tease it. We'll have to find out in a minute.
Ooh, Evans is still there. I like that. Tank. Pittman, all right.
So we are up in 3 more picks. I doubt Evans falls to us.
I don't know. Don't say
as he goes. Pacheco goes, that's fine. I don't really want him in the 3rd spot, especially since we have Gibbs.
basically need a receiver here, I'd say. That leaves us
like
with
Tank there or Pittman. I don't know. I like Pittman, but I feel like there's a lot of mixed feelings about him. So
yeah. A lot of
I
people
like
don't-
Pittman or Rice.
Not Tank Dell.
I'm nervous about him.
We can get. I guess we'll go Pittman if you guys like Pittman. We can probably get Rice on the way back, I would assume.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we pick in 2 spots.
We'll push it. But if we get,
But if Tank Dell's there, you're going to take him.
Oh
though. I
yeah,
already know.
got to smash.
yeah, I don't know. I just think Tank Dell is so good.
He might be good, but I don't think he's going to play that as much as you think. But I could be wrong.
But does it matter? Like neither is Devon Achane going in the second round.
But again, we gotta. I feel like we're going back to redraft brain. Like,
So true.
like coming off injury, like how much is he going to play in the beginning? If he's
Oh,
like
no.
good to go week 17,
I don't get. I have no
You just
qualms
don't like
about
him?
his injury.
Here, also, just real quick before we're on the clock, the thing with Rashee Rice too is early in the summer he was going like pick 85, 90. So like we're competing against teams that have picked him 85, 90. Like it.
Okay, then I'm happy to take Higgins.
What about Jalen Hurts? Is that too? We might.
too
I don't know.
early?
We only have 2. We only have 2 wide receivers. I've seen what happens if we don't pick wide receivers.
All right, we'll go Higgins then.
I'm kind of scarred.
I think Higgins is bouncing back. I love him.
Especially, I
I've
mean,
Higgins
I don't know. Depending
I
on how
think-
much you believe about Chase, he may not even play the first couple of weeks. You don't know.
Higgins is projecting really, really well too.
Yeah. I mean, 2 seasons ago, you would have said, all right, this dude's like arguably like top 10 receiver. Then last year, okay, kind of has like a bum year, like Burrow's out. And now it's like, oh, like Higgins isn't that good. Like, I just don't believe that. Like, I think he's going to bounce back.
These are my receivers.
Wow, really love Rome.
Love Rome. We've been drafting him all summer. Also, I'm such an asshole. I was taking Roman Wilson every single time early, like my first like 15 drafts. I think I had 100% of him through 15 drafts.
That explains why you didn't want when I said let's get Fields and Roman Wilson last stream. You just attacked me.
Yeah, he's dead to me. And plus, like the worst part is I was taking him at like 160, and now he's going like 210. Like, what an idiot! Just
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
I feel
hey,
like all those teams are dead.
When you do drafts, a month, 2 months out from a couple weeks before the season starts, that it could have gone the other way. Roman Wilson could have gone from like 160 to 125. You don't know.
I mean, that's the thing with a bunch of these guys too, like Rome and Dunze. I was taking him way after where he was going now. Neighbors, same thing. Can't get him in the third round anymore.
Yep.
Xavier is rising like crazy.
What do you guys think on London? I think Brian said it a little earlier, not really high on London. So just curious thoughts there.
Yeah, give the argument, and I'll dismantle it.
Yeah. Okay. So far in his career, he has finished best at wide receiver 43. Now with Kirk Cousins, people are just expecting him to be a top 10 wide receiver, and I just don't see it. Especially coming off an Achilles too. Injured quarterback, older quarterback with an unproven wide receiver who, from what I've seen so far, has really hard time separating. He's a big contested catch guy, and I'm not a guy who buys into just contested catches as a wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, like the advanced stats love Drake London. Like he gets open so much, and it's just no one can get him the ball. Arthur Smith, terrorist, gone, locked up in prison in Pittsburgh.
Perennially confused. Arthur Smith back at it again.
Yeah. I mean, like, I just think he's so good. And if Kirk Cousins is somewhat competent, which I expect he will be, he's supported Justin Jefferson to like wide receiver 1 season. Like,
was it him supporting Jefferson, or was it Jefferson supporting Kirk?
Kirk Cousins has always been a good quarterback.
We'll find out how good he is in a new system.
These are my tight ends. I kind of love how this looks. Like, I have a shit ton of Jawan Johnson, who I think is just going way too late, and then like just even on everyone else, because I think it's like super hard to kind of project which tight ends are going to separate. I just want a little bit of everyone.
So what's just, and I'm just curious, but you seem to like Noah Fant a lot. You got him 11.9.
Yeah.
I mean, so you kind of like him, even though it's kind of a crowded. I mean, they've got Lockett, obviously, receiver, DK, and Jigba's there. So, I mean, you still like Fant?
Yeah, I think he's going late enough where he doesn't have to do too much to be okay. I think he's super athletic, and he's never really had a chance to be like tight end 1 on a team. Plus, like, this is kind of the time where tight ends break out. Like, if you think about like Evan Ingram and Njoku, like they all kind of weren't good until a few years into the league. I think he's got the good, like, a profile. He's very athletic.
Yeah, I also saw him. My fiance and I went to a Giant game last year against the Seahawks at MetLife, and he had a game. He had like a 50-yard touchdown. He's fast. He's faster. He looks faster than he is, or he is faster than he looks.
So let's get reacquainted with the board here. We have Gibbs, AJ Brown, Michael Pittman, and T. Higgins.
Okay, so at this point in the draft, would stacking Pittman and Richardson be something you guys are open to, or are you still wanting to draft wide receivers here?
100% would consider it. Something also to consider, how much do you guys like Richardson? Because we can hope this guy is smart and doesn't pick him because we're up in 2 picks. He's only done 15 drafts, so he might not know what he's doing.
Let's push him. I'll take a chance. Yeah.
All right, who do you want then?
Probably Kirk.
Anthony?
You're saying you don't want Richardson? I mean, I'll go with Kirk. That's fine. We only got a couple seconds.
Yeah, because we can, if this guy is, I mean, you can, I guess Richardson naked isn't the worst thing in the world, but like.
I have a feeling he's not going to take him.
All right. And if he doesn't, we get the consolation prize of Roma Dunze. So
either way, you win.
So let's start seeing what correlations we need. So Philly, Dallas, Detroit, and San Francisco.
He goes Mixon first. I'm very invested in this guy's pick right here. Don't do it. Don't do it, Rumblestein.
I'll cue it up to jinx it. He's definitely getting taken.
Don't do it, Rumblestein.
He's going to take like Keenan Allen.
Don't do it.
He's going to do it.
No, he's not.
He's going to do it.
Nope.
Oh.
All right. I knew it.
We're so rich.
Nice. We got Christian Kirk.
All right. And then let's go back to exposures one more time.
Yeah, I think for what it's worth, I think you're playing the tight end position right here.
Yeah. I'll probably stop taking, if depends on how much Juwan Johnson rises, I might just stop taking him and calm down a little bit, but he's not really rising, so I'm just going to keep clicking him. I do need to get my Daniel Jones exposure down. Like,
wow, Ty Chandler, number 1 at running back, though.
Number 1 overall.
Number 1 overall.
Number 1 overall. That's right. Him and Juwan Johnson are tied.
Yeah.
Wow.
I do feel a little uncomfortable with Charbonnet just because they seem to really like Kenneth Walker.
They do.
I don't know how much standalone value Charbonnet is going to have because earlier in the summer I thought he would have a lot more.
16.9% of Zeke Elliott.
Yeah.
He falls into the end. He's this year's Gus Edwards, according to Eric.
That's true.
So I really want to this draft specifically. I really want to prioritize correlations here. Dallas, San Francisco Giants, Denver, Tennessee. Those are the teams in Week 17 that we have players that correlate with. Really want to make sure that we're not just picking the best player, but also building the best team.
So DeAndre Hopkins is a triple correlation with Jacksonville Week 17, Indy Week 16, and Cincinnati Week 15. So that's kind of like I would pick him every time.
I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I mean, we're definitely reaching like ADP wise, but again, I mean, how much does that really matter? Probably not.
Yeah, no.
For a triple stack, it seems worth it.
Yeah.
So the thing is, though, like with Week 15 and 16, in Week 15, you're competing against 12 other teams. Week 16, 15 other teams. So like, you don't have to like hit like the absolute ceiling. So game stacking like isn't as important as Week 17, where it's a 500-person final. Because like think about it in like regular home leagues, like no one's really game stacking like any of the playoff weeks just because like you're only competing against one other person. So like trying to hit like the absolute nuts doesn't like win you anything too crazy, if that makes sense. So like we should value Week 17 correlations a lot more than 16 and 15.
Yeah, what I was just reading, Dallas, San Francisco Giants, Denver, Tennessee, that was the opponents of Week 17 of players we've drafted so far.
Yeah. I'm just saying like it's a general philosophy though.
Okay.
Like Week 17, like some people say like Week 17 is all that matters. It's kind of like a meme or like, yeah.
Did Hopkins just get picked?
No.
Yeah, he did.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah.
One before
Fuck
Connor.
out of here.
Third.
Yeah.
That stinks.
15 picks ahead of ADP. That's crazy. So what are we thinking here?
You got one running back, so I mean, we don't really need Kamara. I mean, I guess we could, but I don't know.
Is
I mean, we have
Najee's
four
not there?
receivers. No, fuck Najee.
No, Najee's not there. I mean, Kamara past ADP, like, unless. So here's my thinking: we should probably go receiver, and running back here. Kamara so far past ADP. I mean, Keon Coleman is too.
Yeah, dude, I don't know why people hate. Why do people hate Kamara? I just don't get it. I mean, yeah, he's a little older.
Or Coleman, either or.
What, he's like two picks ahead of like Keon freaking Coleman in ADP? Come on.
Just thinking of some players that we can correlate with week 17 later on too. You know, we have that Cincinnati-Denver matchup in week 17. We could go after McLaughlin as a late round running back as well. Keon Coleman just went.
It's fine.
Can we see the people are? Thank you.
McConkey? Any interest in McConkey?
Yeah, I don't hate it. He's well past ADP too.
And Chargers, I mean, Chargers don't have anybody who's like clear cut, like the guy.
Cortland Sutton correlates if we care about that. Or McConkey past ADP rookie.
I do like Sutton this year actually, but if you guys want to go McConkey, I'm fine with it.
Thoughts, Anthony? I'm good with either one.
Yeah, whatever you guys are feeling.
Let's get the correlation. Actually, let's get the rookie. I changed my mind.
Okay.
I don't have as much of him too, so that.
I just like McConkey because with Sutton, I feel like, you know, I don't mind Sutton, but it's just like, what is he going to do from here that's like anything more than what I've already seen? I feel like McConkey, like, I mean, I like what he did at Georgia. And then again, Chargers, I mean, he's got a great quarterback, so he doesn't have to worry about that. And then the Chargers just don't have anybody that is going to take the torch. Like, what are we looking at? Quentin Johnson? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like McConkey's in for a big year. And like you said, kind of like, you know, with rookies, again, it's not even like, okay, we're playing for week one. Like, we're looking to 15, 16, 17 here. It's like, I feel like by then he could be well on his way to, you know, doing big things.
Makes sense. Yeah, I was more thinking like later in the draft, if we were to draft what's his name, McLaughlin later on, we would have been able to have that stack with Sutton there, and he already did correlate with one of our teams.
Bound 33 said, "Time to shoot myself because someone took Worthy after I took Mahomes."
Oh, brutal.
That is brutal. At least he got Hollywood though, and he also said, almost got HN to fall too.
Where'd HN go this draft? Oh man, one pick before.
That would have been a nice start. Tyreek, Nico, and HN.
That would have been a unique start too.
So look at this guy, Bodie 08. Started off with 4 running backs. What do we think about that?
Fuck? Wow. Not sure. Not sure.
And I don't like 2 of those running backs.
Yeah, like Travis Etienne in the 4th round. What are we doing?
I know.
Don't tell me you don't like Saquon. All right, I've had enough of this. Saquon's an easy smash. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
In the 2nd round, where you have to start 3 receivers and a flex.
I mean, that's fair, but no, I mean Saquon's he's gonna finish top 5 this year. Can book it right now.
Oh, I disagree. I'll give you top 12, and I still don't think he got top 12.
Right. If he's healthy for at least 14 games, I'll say top 5.
Okay.
Write it down.
I don't have to. We're recording.
Oh, good point.
Who was the guy? Bodie. I'm gonna refresh and see how many drafts that guy Bodie has done. Not loading. Oh. 5 drafts last year. What a smart guy. I support it.
We don't have tight end yet, right?
We don't.
Bound said fading Saquon. Good luck. Yeah, I have 0 Saquon, so good luck to me, I guess.
Good man, Cole. I'm right there with you. As a Giants fan,
yeah,
we've watched him.
I watched him play every single game. He's just not good anymore. I'm sorry. I know he's not a good offense, but he's just not good at football. Guy hasn't broken a tackle in 6 years.
Not good. But you'll stand Najee Harris. All right. We'll see how that works.
Well, Najee Harris is going 7 rounds.
No, I get it.
When Najee Harris was going in the second round last year, I didn't take him either.
No. All right. That's fair.
Anyone's a good value. And if Saquon went to the 5th, great value. I'd pick him every time, but not in the 2nd. All right, let's see who's available here. Our picks coming up. So right now we have 5 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a quarterback.
Richardson, Gibbs, Kamara, AJ Brown, Pittman, Higgins, Kirk, McConkey.
Are we at the dead zone for tight ends here, or like what do we think? I gotta see.
Yeah, let's see who the tight ends are.
I was just on tight end.
I just want to see who's available.
Yeah, we're at like the freaking dead zone at this point.
Okay,
I mean, I do like kind of like Dalton Schultz. I mean, not yet, but I do like him just generally.
Curtis
speaking.
Samuel way past ADP. Unless you guys see something else you want.
Samuel does correlate with
Tyjae Spears. Oh, Tyjae Spears had a shit ton of correlations.
I like
okay with that?
I'm good.
Yep.
With that, yeah.
Yeah, because he's the same team as Hopkins, so we get 3 correlations there.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Maybe Samuel falls, and then we can chill on receiver for a bit.
Do we want Samuel or do we want Palmer?
Yeah.
If we already have McConkey.
I don't want fucking Palmer.
I guess
I'm fine to not take him. I'm just throwing it out there. Or Zach Moss. We were talking about that.
Palmer's terrible. You want Palmer? He's so bad.
He loves Barkley and hates Palmer. But again, we're getting Palmer. We're getting Palmer in round 9, round 8.
Yeah, he's not worth it.
What do we think? Is Curtis Samuel hurt? I think he's banged up. Week 1 or 2.
He is.
What does he have? Oh, turf toe. Nope. We got to pick someone else. Not doing that. Any thoughts here? I mean, Jot.
Singletary correlates.
I'd rather.
You already got 3 running backs, though.
Yeah,
I mean, are we going a little too heavy? Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Wicks.
Right. I'm good with Wicks.
Any lot? Yeah, okay, we'll do that. I don't mind Lockett either. I mean, I know he's kind of boring at this point. Like, he's like 32 years old. Like,
Wicks also correlates with Kamara in
solid,
week 16.
Here's my thing with Lockett. First of all, like the odds that JSN is like over him significantly by week 15 is like 75% to me. Plus, like since we went pretty heavy receiver early, like I like him more if it's a situation where we don't have a lot of receivers and just need like 10 points a week to like survive. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's fair. I mean, we got 6 wide receivers now. So I think at this point we can, I mean, I like, rookies, just got like high upside guys, like who you just don't really like know too much about, but like could potentially in like week 16, week 17 explode. I mean, that seems like a fair way to go about it.
Yeah. I'm curious about my Chargers exposure. Yeah, not too much.
Yeah, I can't blame you there.
And then Seattle. Yeah, I love JSN this year. What do you guys think about that?
He scared me based on what he did last year. I mean, they weren't using him well at all. It was all just screens and dump offs, which was frustrating. We'll see how they use him this year, but I'm kind of low on Seattle's offense in general, but we'll see if they can prove me wrong.
Yeah, but now that terrorist is gone.
Who?
Pete Carroll.
Oh.
Did we talk about running backs? I think we did.
Yeah.
We did.
Antonio
I like
Gibson.
Kyron.
Yeah, I had like 30% Kyron like 3 weeks ago, and I cooled off a little bit. I've been trying to take more Corum.
15.3. Oh, Corum?
It's just like, because I feel like one of those guys is like going to be like Sean McVay's guy. Like either Kyron stays healthy and he's just like a beast, or
yeah, but if he gets hurt, no, I think that I kind of like that. I mean, if Kyron goes down, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Corum's a good pick. I mean,
like my thing is one of them is going to be like a top player for fantasy.
Yeah.
The odds are that they're both like 50-50. Like, I don't know.
I mean, what was it, 2 years ago? Like Darrell Henderson, who, I mean, who the hell even knows what he's doing these days? Like, he was like fucking awesome for 10 weeks. Like, I mean, anybody in McVay's offense, like,
it's true.
I like it.
Yeah, I think I saw him at McDonald's the other day flipping burgers. Actually, they, hold on, let me see what. Bound said Seattle has a new OC. They're going to air it out. Yeah, agreed. And I think JSN, if like, I think JSN is very talented. People see last year, but I don't know.
I think he's talented, but I mean, how optimistic are we with Geno?
Yeah,
that's a good
he
point.
just said
Yeah,
that.
Cole. I mean, right there with you, man. I mean, we're talking about Daniel Jones and and Derek Carr as struggling offenses. Like Geno has been a journeyman for years, and he has really only had success 2 years ago.
I mean, he was legit good 2 years ago, though.
Yeah, but he had Dave Canales as his OC.
What do you guys think? Do you guys want to go Herbert here, or should we take Tua and snipe Cole? No, I'm kidding. We're not going to snipe him.
No, I don't want to snipe him.
Yeah. Do you guys want Herbert? Or do you think it's too early for another quarterback? If we do, we're probably done at quarterback.
Yeah, if we do,
I think that makes sense. Then you have him and Richardson. I think that's a good.
Or we can try and push it because this guy has 2 quarterbacks too. So if we have someone else we want,
okay, yeah, I'm good with that.
Probably a running back here, or we can double stack with AD Mitchell.
We like Benson. Benson's interesting to me. You got any shares of him?
Yeah, I have 7%.
6.9. That was it. Yeah,
I'm good with either Mitchell or Benson.
We'll do Benson. We only have 3 running backs. See, like in this range, like for me, I'm taking Ty Chandler every time.
Yeah, me too.
But I mean, I do think that Benson was going like 110, 105 a couple weeks ago, and then he looked horrible in the first preseason game and dropped like 30 spots, and then he looked okay last week. I just think it's like James Conner, like he just might be dust. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I could see him taking over for Conner late in the year. And that's what we're playing for at this point.
Cole said, "Don't talk about my savior Daniel Jones. He's going to allow me to retire." Agreed.
Oh boy.
I know. Like the only reason he's going so late is because people think he's going to get benched before the end of the season. If he plays 17, if we knew today he was playing 17 games, he'd be going next to Deshaun Watson.
Ooh, yeah, it'd be ugly, but he probably would. He probably should. Yeah. He can run. He's not. He's not unathletic.
I'm gonna get Herbert.
It.
I'll keep the Daniel Jones one up there though, just because I love that.
You've always had the wrong take on him because that game against the Bucs when he came in and threw for 4 touchdowns and won the game, his first start.
That was awesome.
You thought he was Patrick Mahomes, and then he just became below average, and you've hated him ever since.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you have some exposure.
I think the turf monster game fucked him up. I'm not even joking. I really do.
Yeah, he never looked the same after that.
It's true.
No, I'm serious. I agree with you. But
he's mentally weak. Let's see who I'm fading. Let's go all the way down to the bottom.
This is
Lamar Jackson. Yeah,
so let's talk about that one.
Let's talk about that one. Thoughts?
What don't you like about it?
What don't I like or him?
No, Eric.
He's going next to Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, and Mahomes, who I think are all significantly better than him. I don't know.
Jackson has the highest scoring fantasy output of any quarterback in history in 2020.
Really?
He had 491 points. Yeah.
Well, all right. So I'll say this to Eric's point, and I will say this in defense. Lamar misses a lot of time late in the year. So if we're looking week 15, 16, 17, which is really what we're looking at in this format, I don't hate it as much as maybe I did 5 seconds ago.
I mean, also, here's my thing. I don't know. People love Zay Flowers. I think he's okay. I don't think Brian's going to get mad at me for this. I
actually don't disagree.
I don't think he's that much different than Jordan Addison going 50 picks later. Like, second year, probably going to break out. Like, what are we doing?
Okay, now I am mad.
I don't know.
Jordan Addison's the number 2 on a team with a bad quarterback with the best receiver in football. Zay Flowers is the number 1 receiver, or number 2 if you want to include Andrews, who's going to be healthy for 5 games before he gets out for the year. And then he's going to have no one else to throw to but Flowers.
Yeah, I don't know.
Flowers hit the marks of what you want for a rookie receiver. He had over 800 yards. He was the number 1 for most of the season. And I think his role is going to continue to expand. He looked great in the playoffs, too, minus that one fumble he had that basically cost them the game against the Chiefs.
Beside that one minor mistake that, kind of just cost them the whole season.
But he caught the ball and he separated. That's what's important.
Another fade that's kind of scary. CJ Stroud, I've only taken him once.
Ooh, that's a bold prediction.
Again, I just think the cost is just relative. Like, he's not going to run for anything. Here's a crazy thing. How many games over 25 points do you think CJ Stroud had last year?
I think he had 1.
4.
2. We're taking him as a quarterback 6. I know they didn't pass a lot. I know he's
He
got
missed
better
a couple
weapons.
games with the concussion.
He was consistently like 16, 17 to like 2021.
Right, like he looked awesome in real life. I just don't know
Right.
how good that.
Well,
is
like you
gonna
said, he
translate.
doesn't run much. I think he did have a few rushing touchdowns, but probably more than he was expected to have. I think.
For sure. He's
Uh,
not. He's a
drafted
pocket guy. How's our draft looking?
7 picks, I think. Yeah.
I think one player, just looking at it, that you're underexposed to is Will Shipley. But it goes with my Barkley take, so kind of expected.
Yeah. I also need to get more Kenneth Gainwell if I'm going to fully fade Barkley too.
Come on, we're fading Barkley for Kenneth Gainwell. This is crazy.
No.
What kind of draft
For
did
Will
I join?
Shipley. Will Shipley, not Kenneth Gainwell. I've
Jonathan
seen
Taylor.
what Kenneth Gainwell is. I don't know what Shipley is yet.
So these are 2 interesting ones. I'll say these, and then we'll get back to the draft. Taylor and Diggs are both scary. Diggs just because I like Tank Dell more than him, and they're going right next to each other.
Yep.
And
Makes sense.
Taylor, I think he's kind of rushing quarterback. Do we really want to? I don't know. All right, back to the draft. So we are up in 3 picks.
So right now we have, what's our build?
2-4-6-0.
So what's some of the tight ends looking like at this spot?
Musgrave.
Okay, what else is out there besides tight end?
Yeah, at this point we should just wait because it's pretty bad.
I do like Josh Downs.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe the double
And
stack.
he correlates with Richardson and Pittman.
I like that.
Yeah, and the problem is he's got that high ankle sprain, which he should come back eventually. Okay, but it's gonna take a while. I'm fine with it. Do it.
I'm just thinking long term, as I've been told I haven't been.
Yeah, but even still, like he might not be fully 100% even by the playoffs with a high ankle. I know it sounds crazy.
I think McLaughlin also, he correlates with a lot of our players.
6 correlations. Holy shit.
Oh, I feel like you have to do it.
That's a smash, even if that's Najee Harris, Anthony. That's still a smash.
We'll see about that.
I think we just take that just for the sacks and the correlation.
So now we have 2-5-7-0. Richardson, Herbert, Gibbs, Kamara, Spears, Benson, McLaughlin. We've taken Jaleel in all 3 drafts, by the way.
Good value.
AJ Brown, Michael Pittman, T. Higgins, Christian Kirk, Lad McConkey, Dontavian Wicks, Josh Downs.
Solid. I mean, at this point, we could probably. Oh, go ahead.
I think I would take Downs over Wicks personally, but
if he wasn't injured, maybe.
Yeah.
But
go ahead, Anthony. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, I feel like at this point, just wait it out at tight end. I mean, because you've gotten into like the wasteland territory where, I mean, it's just. I mean, who's the number 1 right now? Hunter Henry. So I mean, we're kind of screwed at tight end, but I mean,
like maybe I'm crazy. Like Luke Musgrave, I don't know. What's his name? Tucker Kraft's coming back on track for week 1. Also, I didn't know he tore his pec until like a month ago. Like, when did that happen?
I thought it happened in the offseason.
Really? Okay, that makes sense why I don't remember that.
I don't think it was in the playoffs. I could be wrong, but
are we sure that Musgrave is that much better than him?
No, but
that's a big difference in ADP.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, but we probably should want at least a piece of Green Bay's offense here, and if we can get it.
Oh no, we already have Wicks. We have Wicks.
I know.
I don't really want to. I don't really want to double stack without a quarterback. I don't think it's. I mean, like some people argue for that. I just think it's kind of a thin bet because like if Wicks is good and one of the Green Bay tight ends is good, Love is probably going off. It just feels like we kind of would need Love in that situation to like have the upside for the playoffs.
Okay, if I know you, you'll want to go with Likely. You've always liked him.
See, I'm kind of out on Likely this year.
Really? When everyone likes him, you're out on
I know
him.
everyone likes him. Maybe I should reevaluate that. Give me the case.
I mean, he's an athletic freak on a good offense. With a tight end ahead of him who has historic injury history. That's it.
Yeah, back in. I think it also like in my brain, I'm just like low on the Ravens, and if I'm not taking Lamar, like he's hard to stack. Like I'm not really like Lamar and Likely would be fine. I'm sure that's the one time I drafted him was when I had Lamar. But I don't know. It just seems like if I'm fading Lamar, I might as well just fade everyone. Maybe that's stupid. Probably need to get buried.
So right now, so just based on our build right now with who we have, is there a position specifically you're targeting? I think we're good. We put a lot of equity into quarterback up front, so I think we're good with 2 QB builds of this draft.
So if you see this draft capital thing,
yeah, I can see it.
This is like a tool I downloaded. So like, so this is like bucket, like how much draft capital you spend in each one. You want to get to bucket 1 in wide receiver every single time. The closer you are to bucket 1, the higher chance you have of advancing each round. So we're good in wide receiver. Maybe one more. I don't think so. But if we have one we like, we can take one. Running back bucket 4. You want to try and get as close to bucket 1 as you can. If you're bucket 1 in wide receiver, you're not going to get close to running back. So like maybe we can get up to 3. But yeah. And then tight end doesn't matter. Whatever. Just probably take 3 here. We'll see how it shakes out. But yeah, I think not a wide receiver here. Definitely not taking a quarterback. We have 2.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we could take a last round quarterback, but
I don't think so.
Depends how it looks. So probably running back or tight end here is what I'm getting at.
Let's see who's available for running back and tight end. I know we have like 5 picks before we go, but I just want to get a sense of who we can stack here or correlate with.
So we'll do tight ends first because there's like no running backs there.
Shit. I don't know. It just all looks pretty ugly.
Yeah, honestly, I think like if you scroll down more, like this kind of looks better. I mean, I just always click Juwan Johnson and Theo, so that's kind of why I think that. But and then running backs here. Running back gets real sketchy after this. I feel like Tyrone Tracy is kind of a big tier break. You also did say you want to take Bigsby last time. I don't.
Who said they want to take Bigsby?
Anthony. He also we have.
I mean, I'm just saying if ETN goes out, I mean.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree. I think he's going way too low if he's like the clear backup, which I think he is.
What about Justice Hill? I guess you're low on the Ravens, but if Henry gets hurt, possible. They already said they want to work him in the offense just as is.
Yeah. We already have 4 week 14 buys. I mean, I don't really care about that if you guys like him. All right, so what do we think here?
No, he doesn't really care. He doesn't correlate. He doesn't correlate, so.
I mean, Musgrave is just so far past ADP.
I like Musgrave. I actually have him in our Dynasty League, so I'm biased.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to be like the only team not the only team, but like
one
of the few teams who got him this late.
Musgrave and Wicks, by the way, again, I actually like the fact that we have both. It kind of gives us some exposure to that offense, who I think is going to be good.
Yeah, like I said, some people who are like actually good at best ball are a fan of doing that double stack anyway, even if you don't have the quarterback.
And then we could always get.
We'll make this pick first, then we'll see what Cole said.
What are we looking running back now?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean,
I'm
not letting you guys take Marshawn Lloyd. We're not triple stacking without a quarterback, so
I don't want Marshawn Lloyd.
Can't do that. Yeah.
Tyrone Tracy looks good because we have Indianapolis and Giants play them week 17. That's what I do now.
I like that.
Lock it in.
All right.
Cole, you're a dangerous man asking for our advice on how to
That's very true.
But we'll whatever we say, probably do the opposite. You'll be good. Who's his quarterbacks?
Mahomes, Deshaun Watson,
and his receivers. I just want to see if he can get if he has Olave, maybe get Carr in the last round.
Ayuk, Brian Thomas, Hopkins, maybe
Pickens.
Travis.
You know what, Cole? Take Justin Fields in the 18th round and thank me later. If he starts, I'm telling you, if he starts at the end of the season, he's going to be a top 5 quarterback scoring wise, and he's going to have to throw it to Pickens to be able to do it. Cole, that's your answer. You can thank me later.
I guess we're going to have to be. I guess we're at least at some point we'll do a Justin Fields draft.
Thank you. Justin Fields, Roman Wilson. It feels gross, but it's how many people are going to have that? Not a lot.
He's coming up soon. We'll see what he does.
There may be a reason behind that.
There may be, but a guy that has, again, if he starts the season, if he was announced as the starter and they have Blake Bortles as the backup, he's going in the top 7 rounds. No one else is going to be able to do that when they get started.
I feel like, all right, here's what I feel like kind of what you're saying to some extent. You could almost say the same thing about like Jameis Winston. I don't know what their ADP is. I'd have to look at it, but it's kind of like the same theory. Like, okay, if he's the starter when we get to week 17, 16, whatever, like he could go off. And at that point, I think I'd rather just have like Jameis Winston.
But the difference is there's a real chance. Barring injury, I don't think Winston starts. I think
that's fair.
Because of poor play. I mean, there's already a QB battle before the season starts about which one of the two is going to be the starting.
I think even people who know what they're doing are really overestimating how likely Russell Wilson is to get benched. I think it's the same thing with Daniel Jones. I just think they're like, I think the Giants are going to be better than people think. I think that if the Giants are like 0-9, they'll bench Jones. But other than that, like, it's not a real risk. With Russell Wilson, Mike Tomlin is not going to play Justin Fields. He's fumbling the ball left and right in preseason. He's not going to deal with that. He wants someone to run the offense, play football, and not play whatever Justin Fields is going to do.
He's not going to get that with Russell Wilson, though. That's the argument. We'll see.
Maybe he's done it before. In a run heavy, why do you think they have Arthur Smith? When was Russ good? Russ was good with Seattle when they were running play action 90% of the time, pounding with Marshawn Lynch.
It's true. Oh, Roman Wilson. Cole, you should have taken him instead of Jonnu Smith.
Calvin Austin backstacked with
That's
Justin
true.
Fields.
Calvin Austin is more appealing, honestly, with Roman Wilson's injury.
He said, was thinking young Sanders with a run back on Tampa Bay. I'm like, y'all, I'm not an analytics guy, but I think I know ball guy. Yeah.
That's exactly how I would describe myself.
It was Tucker Kraft. Interesting.
Got to have that backup tight end on Green Bay.
I mean, we have the backup receiver on Green Bay.
I know, but
going at least
double tight end is wild.
Oh, there's Madison. All right, you came in last, buddy.
Look at this running back room. This is Anthony's worst nightmare. He has Najee too.
My lord!
And he has
a Patriot.
Ooh.
that is ugly.
Chuba. Oof.
Look at these receivers. They're pretty good. Pretty good receivers.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so with how bad that running back room is. All right, so we're up in a couple picks here. We got, 2 more picks to go? I think we should try to correlate as best we can. I mean, Demarcus Robinson's still there. I like Demarcus Robinson. He correlates with us.
We don't need a receiver, I think.
How many we got?
Maybe. We kind of have like a luxury pick here. We're kind of set at every position. Let's look at tight ends first because we're definitely going to take a tight end. I don't want to do Theo with Tyrone Tracy again without Daniel Jones. Unless, is Daniel Jones still there? No. Any standouts at running back or receiver?
I mean, I like DeMarcus. You wouldn't do that?
I would. Do it. He correlates with Benson as well in week 17.
Sure.
He won people championships last year.
You guys aren't scared of Whittington?
I don't think so.
No, me neither. I think he sucks. I think people are searching for the next Puka. I don't think this guy is very good.
Yeah.
It's just funny that he has 2 good games in the preseason and he got drafted by the Rams as a rookie. It's just
right.
What do we think at tight end here?
I think this is a correlation pick all the way. And I think Gesicki's our man.
Who does he correlate with?
Gesicki?
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to sound ridiculous, but Adam Troutman has been playing with the ones.
I can't let you draft Adam Troutman.
Okay. What'd you say? Gesicki is gone.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Chig?
No. Oh. All right. I mean, I guess if Troutman correlates.
Or Greg Dulcich.
I don't like Dulcich.
I just feel gross taking Troutman. Like, are you guys going to let me do this? We have 2 seconds. I guess we're doing it.
Go for it, yeah.
Oh, that's ugly.
Oh, that's gross.
Well, it's an ugly tight end room, that's for sure. You know what's sad? We didn't correlate Gibbs or A.J. Brown.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, it's tough to, in fairness, it's tough to correlate them. They got Dallas and San Francisco. Most of their guys that we can correlate with.
Right, they're going first 3 rounds, yeah.
First 3 rounds, they're gone, yeah.
Right, yeah. All right. We'll look at Bound's team first, then look at our team. So
yeah.
He's got 1 pick, so we'll wait for that.
All right, come on, Bound. This is your chance.
A lot of like 15th rounders, like Burton dropped a lot. Robinson dropped a lot.
This is the moment Bound Cole is going to win $1.5 million with the Justin Field pick. Do it. He knows he's in his queue, but he's trying to find somebody better. And he goes with Carson Steele.
Oh, that's the worst pick on the board. That's worse than Adam Troutman.
Wow. Double tapping tight end and then Carson Steele. Anthony, who would you rather have, Carson Steele or Justin Fields? Round 18.
Yeah, probably Fields. Yeah.
It was fun drafting.
Good game, School.
All right, our team. So we went.
Yeah, I got to see this
with our structure 2-6-8-2.
I like that build 2-6-8-2.
It's kind of thin at the onesies, but
yeah, but we put a lot of equity in quarterback early on.
Yeah, so we got AJ Brown, Gibbs, Pittman, Higgins.
We just got fucked at tight end, which I don't like. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter that much, but it just sucks when I look at a tight end room and it's Tucker Kraft and Troutman.
Luke Musgrave, you mean?
Oh yeah, sorry, Musgrave. Sorry,
they're forgettable.
Yeah. Well, Musgrave was like a second-round pick, right? Is that true?
He was. Yeah, he was. But I mean, realistically, like, of the percentage of total points you're going to score on a weekly basis, is tight end going to make more than 5% of that on average? Probably not.
That's the redraft brain. If we want to get first place out of 500 in week 17, we need 15 points.
I think Musgrave can do that. I mean, there were plenty of times last year in the first half of the season, especially before he got hurt. There were, if you go back and look at the targets that he had, he was wide open down the middle of the field like 5 or 6 times, and Jordan Love just overthrew him.
I don't know their pass rate last year, but I wouldn't be surprised if they increased it with more confidence in Jordan Love. I'm sure it increased at the end of the season. So
for sure. So Eric, you're the expert here. What do you think after the first 3 drafts that the 3 of us have done together? What are your high-level thoughts on our teams that we've built?
I think we got to dial in like the roster construction a little bit, because like we invested a lot into receiver and then we threw on DeMarcus Robinson. I know it's way past ADP, but like how many times is he going to hit our lineup over Brown, Pittman, Higgins, Kirk, McConkey? I mean, maybe he will. I don't know. I just think 8 receivers is a lot to also be in bucket 1. If we were in bucket 2, I'd say just go quantity over quality. But
so who would you have, what in hindsight, what would your last pick have been had it not been DeMarcus Robinson at that point, or second to last pick? Would you have gone with a 3 tight end build? Yeah, would you have gone with like a 3 tight end build?
Yeah, I probably would have taken Gesicki and then I don't know, maybe Theo Johnson, even though it was ugly with Tyrone Tracy too.
Okay, that's fair.
Like the general rule that most people follow is 5 people at quarterback and tight end. It's not always the case. You don't need to do it, but it's just like a good. Because like if you're putting a lot into quarterback, you're going to take 2, and you're probably not putting a lot in tight end too.
It's true. Those onesies positions, it's either like the hero or late.
Yeah. Also, no one's drafting Adam Troutman, so if he goes off, we're good.
Yeah.
I mean, again,
our hopes rest with Adam Troutman.
Yeah, Dulcich has had plenty of chances to be a difference maker, and he just has failed.
Yeah, the
constantly.
buzz has not been good in camp with him either.
He sucks.
Limited opportunity, yeah. He is only 24 though.
I feel like he's been in the league for 10 years.
I don't know. I'm also afraid that Troutman is going to play a ton and just block all the time, kind of like Daniel Bellinger on the Giants. Might be the same situation. Put him at fullback. I did draft him once, but I don't know. All right. Any other thoughts before we wrap up?
No, I don't think so. I think we're getting a little bit more
dialed into strategy a little bit more.
Yeah.
The best ball construction. Really going heavy on wide receiver. I think it's helpful with the.
I like the first draft we did tonight, receiver wise. I mean, we were loaded.
I think the first draft we did was better.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I really like that team. I don't think this team was that much worse. I just think there's like a bit less depth at the tight end and running back position than we had in this draft.
Yeah, I still think even here we didn't need the 8th receiver. I think we're trying to make up for the first draft where we were thin at receiver and just going quantity and quality. I think we could have stopped at McMillan and been okay.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
We're learning. It's a journey. Stick with us. We'll get better.
On the bright side, I don't think we've taken one Steeler yet, did we? So, I mean, that's
true.
That's positive.
All right, fellas. It was fun.
It was a pleasure.
See you guys next time.
See you next time.